from the heart of the action. This is a global goalpost. You're home for everything World Cup.
My co-host of Shin, and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all the sports. Hope you had a great week. Unfortunately, I won't be on with you all tonight. You can see here I'm on the western coast of Ireland for a little getaway. So tune in to Jess tonight. She's going to have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we know what's going on with the World Cup. Say that more for Saturday. So we all know it's Argentina and Spain. We'll chat about how they got there, give our predictions for the final, all that good stuff. A lot of other tidbits, more transfers going on. Jess will keep you all up to speed on that. Great story out of Canada with Men's League. Congratulations to Winnipeg. That's a great story. Good to see Spain. I'd like to see them get to 8 to 10 teams here soon. Hopefully they'll be able to do that. Got a deep fryer story. You get into it in the men's restroom, which is absolutely hilarious. So tune in for a great show tonight. Once again, sorry I can't be. Then again, am I really? I mean, just look at this place. This is just, yeah. So anyway, great show tonight, Jess. We'll miss you, and we'll catch up with you all on Saturday for our World Cup special. Have a good one, y'all.
All right, welcome to Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. That was the video from Big Mike. Like you saw, he's sorry that he can't be here, but I mean, can't really blame him. You know, he's over on the west coast of Ireland right now, so he is just, I'm sure, having a ball, or at least he did, because I think they're about 7 hours ahead. So I think he's probably asleep by now. So that's why he couldn't join us tonight, but will be here on Saturday for the World Cup edition. Like I said, I'm Jess. You can find me and Big Mike on X at shinpad_IESR. All right, let's get into tonight's show. Going solo tonight. Looking into the MLS, like Big Mike said, there's a lot of transfers going on right now. World Cup is kind of dying down. The finals on Sunday, so of course we're going to be talking about that. So I mean, it's gonna be a great show on Saturday, but there's still soccer going on outside of the World Cup. A lot of transfers. And starting out the transfers, looking at the MLS, Nathan Ordaz, who has been with LAFC, is headed over to the East Coast to DC United. LAFC announced that the club has acquired $2.375 million in cash from DC United in exchange for Nathan Ordaz. And honestly, I feel like it's going to be a good move for Ordaz because, I mean, he's going to get more playtime, you know. He kind of as it happens a lot, he kind of went down the pecking order with the new coach. So hopefully it's going to be a good move for him. We'll see. Don't know, but we'll see. Columbus Crew have acquired a Real Sociedad player, Bryce Mendez. He has signed with Columbus Crew. This was an interesting one because I'm like, you don't really see too many Sociedad players, or really too many. I feel like is a little bit bigger of a league. A little bit more beefy. It's the only other word I can think of. To come to MLS unless they're towards the end of their career. But yeah, he signed with Columbus Crew, which is a little bit of a surprise. A lot of these bigger clubs, I feel like, are having their eye on Inter Miami. I feel like Inter Miami, or I don't even know what other one would be a good one. I mean, obviously they're all great, you know. MLS is becoming such a big thing, and it's honestly amazing to see. But gotta keep our eye on Columbus Crew. Um, anyway, they acquired him for a fee of 6 million euros, and in 166 matches with Sociedad, he acquired 33 goals and 24 assists. So we'll see. His contract's going to run through 2028-29 season, and he's considered a high level technical of having a high level technical skill set. So we better be watching Columbus Crew the rest of the season. We'll see, you know. Here's one that's a little bit more like, what's going on? Charlotte FC have signed a French player. They have signed Alan Saint-Maximin from RC Lens in the French League One through the 28-29 season. From what I've read, he's considered an elite attacking player. He even won the Coupe de France with Lens earlier this year, and that's the part that was like, why wouldn't he just stay? Why come to Charlotte FC? I mean, he's tallied 50 goals, 60 assists in 384 professional matches across various clubs. Saint-Etienne, Newcastle United, Nice, Hanover 96, Liga MX's Club America, and among others. So we better be looking for Charlotte FC, man. Charlotte and Columbus. I mean, Columbus, I feel like, is a little less of a surprise because Columbus is kind of a, you know, bigger club. But I feel like Charlotte FC, they're starting to beef up their roster too. And the fact that he's going to be coming in with a winning mentality. He just won Coupe de France. Why would he not bring that mentality to Charlotte FC? I'm excited for them. I really am. And I'm kind of just like, holy crap, you know? So I'm kind of hoping that the winning mentality is going to be a little contagious over there. I'm still rooting for LAFC, but super happy for Charlotte FC for them, for acquiring them. Pretty much all I've seen for transfers for the MLS. Gonna dip a little bit into the USL, kind of staying with the men's side here. Danny Rojas, as a lot of you probably would know him, but Cristo Fernandez, he made his professional debut last Saturday when he was subbed on as a winger, so he's not quite a striker like he portrays in Ted Lasso, but he is a wing. He was subbed on as a winger in the 79th minute of the El Paso Locomotive versus New Mexico United match. He even managed to pick up a yellow card 8 minutes after being subbed on because he collided with the opposing goalkeeper. Yeah, it happens. So we talked about this on the show back in May. We talked about this. The reason that he hasn't come on yet, and we're already halfway through July, is because they had to get things worked out with his work first. And not that he wasn't ready. It's the other side of the football, especially with international football. So hopefully he gets some more playtime. And honestly, I feel like that's going to bring a lot of great attention to the USL just having Cristo Fernandez on the roster. But I know he was probably really excited because, as some of you may or may not know, he actually did play semi-pro back when he was like 15-ish, but he had to kind of retire at 15 because persistent knee injuries. This is his first pro match, especially being over the age of 15, that he's gotten to play, and I'm sure he was so excited. So excited. And I'm sure the Ted Lasso crew was there too, but so happy for him that he finally got to be out on the pitch as a pro athlete. Hopefully he gets some pretty good minutes though. Hate to have that kind of big name on the roster without being on the pitch. Swinging on over into the NWSL for a second here. Kansas City Currents, Vanessa DiBernardino is back. She was out on maternity leave. And now we talked about this, I want to say probably like a week or two ago. We talked about the maternity and that whole thing, policy within the NWSL, and how the NWSL is really doing a great job with this. This is her first NWSL appearance in 386 days. She took over a year off. So she had her daughter Charlie back in January and is finally off of maternity leave after that such a long time. And so this is going to be so great for them because their road performance has not been the best this season. So I anticipate this is going to boost their road performance. I really do. But we'll see. I'm really kind of hoping that the Kansas City really do as well as they did last year, because I really want to try to see them actually win it this year. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. But we'll see. We'll see. Gotham could take it too. I don't know. So crazy. As of right now, San Diego Wave is sitting at the top of the table right now, with Kansas City Current being at number 6, unfortunately. But there's still a season left, so we'll see if they pull it out. Moving on over into the NWSL, not the NSL, Northern Super League. Staying in the women's, but heading up north to Canada. They just started up last year, the NSL. So they've only got like 6 teams. Well, we can't say that anymore. There is they announced the first ever expansion team. So congrats to Winnipeg, man. Winnipeg is making history by not only being the first ever expansion club, but they're going to be taking the pitch in 2027. So it's just going to be kind of weird to have an odd number of teams. It really is. The team is actually co-founded by 2 local soccer figures, Olympic gold medalist and retired Canadian national player Desiree Scott. She's serving as the Vice President of Community and Player Experience. And they also have, as their Chief Sporting Officer, veteran coach Rob Gale. Now, right now, we don't have official name, crest, colors, or even a home stadium announced. That's going to be a separate announcement later this year, and we'll see how it goes, because I'm still gonna try to be rooting for the Halifax Tide personally, but we'll see how Winnipeg does. I really don't know. We will see. Looking at the standings of the NSL, Ottawa is at the top, of course, and honestly, last season Halifax Tide, whole season pretty much, they were at the bottom of the table. They're mid-table. They're at number 4. Crazy. But I don't even know how this odd amount of teams is going to work out, because I'm like, yeah, that's going to be tricky for the matches. But they're actually looking at, currently still on the lookout for an 8th team to join by 2028. So we'll see, We'll see who that is. I mean, because right now they've got, of course, Winnipeg, Halifax, Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary, Montreal, and Vancouver. So I'm trying to think, where else could they put a NSL team? I really don't know. I mean, I guess they could. Quebec City, maybe. Edmonton, I feel like Edmonton could be a really good candidate because, well, you've got Edmonton Oilers. Why not have a women's soccer team there? But we'll see. It could be someplace that's a little bit out of the blue. But I feel like they're going to stick with major cities, honestly. All right, guys, we're going to take a short little break here. You've been watching Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you guys after the break.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back to Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Moving on across the pond now into the EFL. One little thing from the EFL that I'm kind of like, really? So, we talked about Spygate a few weeks ago, and it's insane. This blew my mind. Middlesbrough spy has been offered a permanent role at Southampton. Will Salt, the intern who was caught spying at Middlesbrough, has been offered a permanent role, and despite the club being expelled from the playoffs, Southampton have offered Salt a permanent academy role. He's going to be the academy performance analyst. Big shocker there, you know. And reports are suggesting that the manager was impressed with his analysis during the Spygate incident. Okay, I guess that's one positive spin on that. I mean, I also read that he said something saying that he basically had no choice. And with interns, I feel like that could potentially be the case because with interns, I feel like they have no way to say no. I feel like it's just really hard for them to say no to doing something that's stupid. But yeah, he's gonna have a permanent role there, and I'm like, okay. I mean, the club is still under investigation by the FA, and they've been targeting the manager and Salt specifically as individuals. If found, I guess if found guilty or whatever the verdict could be, because they've already been found guilty of spying. So I'm like, what could warrant that? They could face up to 12 months suspension from all football activity. I mean, there goes his permanent academy role. I just don't get it. I was like, why was he offered it? I don't know. I really don't. Because I was like, why was he offered? I mean, it's definitely controversial for sure. But I'm like, dude, come on. Yeah. I mean, even in the middle of this whole thing, he's offered a role. That's like encouraging the spying. It's encouraging the cheating. But it's whatever. I don't know. I really don't. Kind of leaving the EFL a little bit here. It's a non-league English club. There's a photo that's gone viral. And I'm like, when I looked at it, I had to do a double take, and I was like, what? Yeah. A deep, fat fryer was found in the men's toilet, like in the bathroom. Blythetown Stadium, there's a photo that features a deep fat fryer in the corner of the men's bathroom. This is funny because it's just like, why? Just why? I mean, fans are going crazy over this. They are just having a ball with this. They've dubbed the ultimate multitasking facility and have also been joking about two completely different types of splashback to worry about. It's absolutely hilarious. It's one of those, you gotta find your joy. You gotta find your joy, you know? Now, the club did clarify because after all of this, how crazy viral this has gotten, the club had to clarify that the halftime chips, which we in America call fries, if you didn't know, they're not being prepared in the bathroom, okay? Don't worry, calm down, it's fine. The fries are not being prepared in the bathroom. Your fries are safe, okay? It's just a temporary home for the fryer. because of a storage issue. They've been updating their facility and they just didn't know where else to put it. And unfortunately for them, the club had a preseason friendly and had to unlock the facility for use before they had a chance to move it out of the restroom to be professionally cleaned and sold. I'm wondering how that's gonna go for them. Trying to sell a fryer where the picture of it in the bathroom went viral. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. I was like, why? It's one of those funny things that you find on the internet, and it really, really is. All right, getting back to some transfer news. Going into the Premier League now. Talking about the Premier League transfers. And of course, first off, that I have on my list is talking about Man City. They have signed goalkeeper Pierce Charles from Sheffield Wednesday. Now, let's see, I think it was Sheffield Wednesday that earlier this year, a few months back, they were all over the news. They were all over the news because they weren't paying their players or their staff. And it was absolutely crazy. But he has officially signed with City on a 5-year deal, and it's going to be £3 million plus add-ons for the fee. And in order to guarantee him first team minutes, and we talked about this last week, I believe it was last week, he's been loaned out for the season to the Queen's Park Rangers. Now, some of you might be thinking, why is he just signed with City? Why is he going to go play for the Queen's Park Rangers? For developmental. It's developmental that he has to go through that. He did go through Man City's youth academy before moving to Sheffield Wednesday in 2021, and his development caught the attention of City's director of football, which led to his buyback. But he still has maybe like a little bit more developing to do. And of course, you can't really be like, oh, you're signed, you go onto the first team. Not how it works. You got to prove yourself a little bit more. So he's going to be going to play for the Queen's Park Rangers this upcoming season, but he will technically be a City player. Kind of like when Jack Grealish was with City and then was loaned out. I believe it was loaned out to Everton. But yeah, I think that was a little bit developmental and also maybe get his head out of his butt. But that's not the person we're talking about. Hopefully he can prove himself, and I suspect if he can prove himself, especially with everything, with what seems like a lot of revamping going on, I expect he'll be with City, probably on the first team, getting some minutes, probably maybe next season after. But we'll see. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, though. Newcastle have snagged an Arsenal player. They have signed Kieran Thompson, and this is not a main Arsenal player. He's from the Arsenal Academy. He's 16 years old. He's joining them as a free agent. He's going to play right winger. And this is considered an excellent signing. 0 financial risk because he's a free agent. Apparently, he's got some high caliber youth pedigree. And Thompson is a fundamentally dynamic winger admired for his explosive pace, fearless dribbling, and creative vision. That kind of is what I feel like is reminiscent of more of a heavy metal-esque type of football, which Liverpool is known for. Not Arsenal, Liverpool is known for. Really more Jurgen Klopp, but that's neither here nor there right now. Because they have that explosive pace. And if he can develop pretty much all three of those traits, continue with that explosive pace, continue being an amazing dribbler, kind of like Messi-esque, and being creative in the box, really being just a playmaker. Newcastle are going to have a diamond in the rough with that. Right now, Newcastle are aggressively overhauling its academy recruitment under its long-term project. With the first team squad navigating the departures of wingers like Anthony Gordon, Thompson is going to see a significantly clearer, fast-tracked pipeline to senior Premier League football at Newcastle than he would have buried beneath Arsenal's elite established forward line. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they really had a lot of people leave Newcastle, if I remember correctly. A lot of major players leaving. So having someone who, for one, is at the very start of their career, so they're pretty much can try to mold him to the way they play, to what they want out of a player. But also, if all goes well, he's going to stay with the club for a long time, and you're going to see him at his peak playing for Newcastle. And that could be dangerous if he's going to be that good. But we'll see. We'll see. Moving on into Man United for a minute here. Man United have signed Andre Santos from Chelsea for a reported fee of £48 million. Now, this signing is definitely going to help their midfield. Definitely going to help their midfield. But I just wonder if it's going to be enough. Because, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they need a lot of help, you know? I mean, granted, they didn't finish horribly, but it just felt like a little bit more of an inconsistent performance last season. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe kind of beefing up the midfield, doing a little tweaking here or there in the midfield is going to be enough to get them to where they actually, I don't know, win 5 games in a row. So the United thread can finally cut his hair. What's been like 2 years now? My goodness. But just finding that consistency that they need in order to actually compete at the top. And it's not just like Big Mike said, I think it was last week or week before, where you've got like Man City and then you've got Arsenal, and they just kind of swap places, but then you've got everybody else. Like Man City, Arsenal, everybody else. I mean, yeah, there's little changes in the mid-table, but for the most part, usually the teams do really well consistently. And United, I didn't see them doing very consistent performance last season, personally. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if this one actually makes a difference. I don't know. I don't know. Moving on into the Bundesliga for a little bit. Trend I did notice, really was probably the only one I really noticed over the last week from the Bundesliga, was out of Bayern Munich. Jonathan Asp Jensen has joined the Spanish club Deportivo La Coruña for 6 million euros. He was on loan with Swiss First Division club Grasshopper Club Zurich last season, where he made 40 appearances and achieved 9 goals and 6 assists. Jensen previously made his Bundesliga debut for Bayern in 2024 against Wolfsburg. That was a 2-0 match. See if this goes well for him. You know, it's not bad to have 40 appearances, 9 goals, 6 assists. Maybe this will be good. Kind of feels like the dude's kind of hopping all over the place, though. Going from Germany to, I believe it's Spain. He was in Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland. And it was just, feels like he's a little bit all over the place, but we'll see. You know, I don't know. Going over into world soccer here. Fenerbahce have signed Mason Greenwood until 2030 for a fixed transfer fee of 39 million euros with 2 million euros in performance-related add-ons. I'm seeing more and more of this performance-related add-ons. And it's not a bad idea. It really isn't. Because I've also seen, and one thing I saw was really amazing and brilliant idea, was adding on to the contract a sell-on clause. Because if, especially for like these smaller clubs that sell a player to a larger club, brilliant idea. So 2 million in performance-related add-ons, smart idea. He was playing for Marseille and recorded 48 goals and 17 assists in 81 appearances. So, not too shabby. Though why you would want to go from France to Turkey, I don't know. That maybe he just wants some more playtime. I feel like that's a lot. Reason is very, very common with people wanting to transfer. Galatasaray have signed former Chelsea midfielder Leslie, I'm going to try to pronounce his last name, Ugachu. He signed with the club on loan with a buy option clause for a total package of under 30 million euros. Burnley inserted a performance trigger where the transfer automatically becomes permanent if Leslie makes 25 appearances for Galatasaray during the 2026-27 season. He originally signed for Chelsea in 2023 and was loaned out to Southampton before being sold to Burnley last summer. Now, Burnley did do a smart move with this, and I feel like this is the first time I've seen where the performance trigger an automatic buy, where it goes from a loan to being permanent based on appearances. And I'm like, interesting. That's probably not the last I'll see of that type of clause. And the last thing I do want to mention before signing off tonight, which just to let you guys know, Saturday's World Cup edition, Big Mike will be on, I promise. So we are going to have so many more shenanigans. But getting back to this last topic, this kind of blew my mind a little bit in not such a good way. So there's a team in Brazil in the second tier. And I don't know if some of you've seen it, some of you might not have. Amazonas FC. Unprofessionalism in Brazil. Yeah. So this is one of those you really got to be petty, don't you? Situations. Amazonas FC recently parted ways with one of their defenders and then proceeded to post a compilation of his worst mistakes on social media. This wasn't the defender that did that. This was his former club. And they did this in response to the defender filing a lawsuit against them for unpaid wages. Pay your players. Why is this an issue that I have seen too much over the last year? Pay your players. And then you get mad because he's suing you because you didn't pay him. So now you're getting mad, getting petty, and posted at least 3 of his worst mistakes on social media. Could you have been more unprofessional here? Seriously. Could you have been more unprofessional? It blows my absolute mind how unprofessional that they were. Like, who does that? Come on. That's definitely not going to help their lawsuit. Or the lawsuit being brought against them. That's not going to help. Why? Just why? And you're also bringing a bunch of bad press onto yourself. I don't care what sort of negativity or like what tier you're in. You need to stay professional from the non-league clubs all the way up to the big leagues. I mean, they're in the minor leagues. You're not going to see minor league clubs behaving unprofessionally because then that reflects badly on you as a club. And apparently they failed to pay him for 5 months. This is why companies have companies and big and small have retaliation, and there's like retaliation policies out there because of people doing stupid stuff like this. I mean, you can't publicly humiliate. I don't care what bad terms you left on. That's not okay. It is absolutely not okay. It doesn't matter if he's in the right or the club is in the right. As far as with the whole lawsuit, that was unprofessional. Absolutely unprofessional behavior and unacceptable. And it is just appalling to see any tier club doing this. Absolutely appalling. Well, that's what I have to say on the matter. You've been watching Shin and Shenanigans from here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You can catch me and Big Mike on Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time he's going to be in, time zone he's going to be in, but he will still be in, I believe it's Western Ireland that he's still going to be in. So we'll see. Just to let you know, there is no show on August 6th. As we are headed closer towards August, there is no show on August 6th. But we will see you guys on Saturday for the World Cup edition. You've been watching Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
Live from the heart of the action. This is the global goalpost. Your home for everything World Cup.